The rack is a little too wide. Hope I don't goof it up and have to weld them up. And one thing I don't like about the S welder, I just pounded it on the edges. The fan runs all the time. All right, so like I said, my holes on the passenger side was about a 1/4 inch off from the holes on the driver's side. The driver's side fits good, and the passenger side touched the top of the doors. I'm just going to go through and drill these holes straight through to the passenger side, and I hope I don't goof it up and have to weld them up and start over. So I just drilled that one, so you can see the holes match now. I was going so good, I got too confident and ended up screwing up. That's what happens when you don't take the time to actually measure it, I guess. I just thought everything was going to go smooth, and it didn't. Oh well. All right, so I got the holes drilled. Hope everything goes good enough, both up and match close enough. So speaking of matching, about the only way you'll be able to tell is the gap between the roof of the Suburban and the bottom of the rack. I actually had something come in the mail today that'll take care of that gap. I bought it so you wouldn't see my wobbly cuts between the Suburban and the rack. So I bought some trim. I didn't realize I was buying bubble trim, like a weather strip. I was just buying the trim. I thought I was just buying the trim that had this black vinyl piece that snaps over the edge, but it's not going to hurt anything with this bubble edge. I may end up having to take a razor blade and cut it off above the doors. Maybe not. I do have it close enough, the rack close enough to the roof that this will touch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put it on, and then that way I can sit it up on the roof and it won't scratch my roof up. So I'm going to take these bolts apart. I'm going to put this down the bottom of each one of them. So you can see how that worked. I just pounded it on the edges. Oops. And it will smooth it out and make it look like I knew what I was doing when I cut it. I'm gonna do one more and then I'll go sit them on the roof. Hey y'all, back in the shop again. So I worked a little bit on the rack last night. I didn't video any of it. I was trying to figure stuff out, and it's just easier to figure stuff out instead of worry about the video. So you get to see the product, not the making of the product. So the rack is a little too for the mounts I built. I don't know how I got off like that, but I did. So what I've done is I bought a piece of 1 1/4, 3/16. They're cut at 9 foot, and those will go along the mounts from the rear all the way to the front. And it'll help span the mounts and maybe make them stronger. You can kind of see the two in the middle. They only have one bolt in them. They're kind of floppy. So hopefully that will make the whole rack a lot stronger with just those two little pieces of strap. And I also drilled 1/4 inch holes at each end, and then every foot along the way to mount the side plates to the mounts. That was easier than cutting the tubes down and welding new washers and nuts on them. I could have cut the tubes down 1/4 inch and then welded more of these on there, but grade 8 nut and bolts are kind of expensive. What I'm going to do is weld the strap along the mounts. That way each side is one solid piece. So I will just tack it on the truck, and then I will pull it off and fully weld it. Centers here, and then I'm going to come over here and weld the fronts, and then we're going to try to keep this piece here as level as possible. That way the holes I drill in the side plate of the rack is straight instead of curved. I want them to be straight. One thing I really like about the S welder is that it'll do 220 and 110. So I don't have a 220 extension cord, again, because those are crazy expensive. I can use a 110 extension cord and just bump it up a little bit on 110. And it welds just as good on 110 as it does 220. But One thing I don't like about the S welder, at least on the 205 BS, is that the fan runs all the time. I said I was going to tack it, and I ended up welding it. I will finish this side, I'll spin the truck around, do the same thing, and I'll pull them off, and you'll see me here in the shop. Alright, so, see that right there? Don't mind, go check out my other channel, it's Missouri Kayak Fishing. That's what I did before the four-wheel drive thing was. I did a lot of kayak fishing, and I still enjoy it, I just don't do it as much as I would like. That's a one-person kayak, and I got a kid that goes with me. So a lot of times I'll fish off the bank, but I'm still Missouri kayak fishing too. And with the bubble trim on the bottom, can't hardly tell my cuts are terrible. With the 2 bars on the front, I don't know if I'm going to put a fairing on it or not. I kind of like the way it looks without the fairing, but if it makes all kinds of noise, I will definitely be putting a fairing on it. Alright, you remember last time I said that I hope I don't have to weld the holes up and drill new ones? I'm going to go through and fill all the holes that I drilled that I shouldn't have. Maybe that's a little foreshadowing of what I was going to have to do. Alright, I'm going to start welding. I'm taking this brass spoon and I'm sticking behind it. Hope you can see that or not. Okay, I welded these up already here. They smoothed out. So I'm going to go through and weld the next one's up. And you see the weld doesn't stick to the brass. It's kind of like when I was pulling the studs out of the aluminum block on the LS. You can weld to the stud and it won't stick to the aluminum. It won't stick to brass either. All right, let's flip it over, see if I need to weld on the other side. What do you think? Think it's smooth on the back side or not?
Yeah.
All right, you can barely see them. A little nick in that one. A little one in that one. And just a little one in that one too. But we have a strip bed liner on it, you'll never see it. All right, I got all the holes drilled. I got all the other holes filled. And I got it all primed. Now I just need to go to the farm store and pick up some bolts, bolt it all together, and wait on my gussets to get here for that. Hey y'all, back in the shop again. It's Saturday. I've not worked on the rack all week because it's been over 100 degrees outside. I've had the air conditioner on and it's been running for 5 days straight. It's not shut off. But I got something in the mail. I don't know if you can see that. So my gussets came in. So I was looking for small gussets with a large hole. So at least with a hole big enough to run the hook from a ratchet strap through. Small ratchet strap. I think on the roof, you'll never use anything, a strap any bigger than that, because you're not going to put that much weight on the roof. I mean, these are perfect for the kayak. That's probably the only thing that I will ever put on the roof rack is the kayak. So these will work perfect. I originally intended to just weld these on top of the mounts. So say if this was the mount for the roof rack, you just weld those on like that, and then it gives you a pretty good little hole to hook stuff onto. But I need to brace the mount, and the gussets work great. I've thought about putting 2 gussets per mount, and then this mount between the gussets. They wouldn't be angled like that, but that's the only way I can really hold it up, you know, just do it like that. And then you'd have this, still be able to use this, but since the ratchet strap will go through that hole, I'm just going to use the gussets, and I can use that somewhere else. I'm going to get the gussets welded on today. With the gussets welded on, I'm going to put it all together, put it on the roof, make sure everything fits. So just hang out with me, and maybe we'll have a little fun today, I don't know. Alright, so that was the last part of welding that. I had to clean all that mess up. Flux core makes a mess. So, I clean all that up. Like I said, got the gussets on there and the, ooh, that's hot. Got the gussets on there and the tie down. But these gussets will also work as tie downs. Alright, I got them all trimmed up, cleaned up. I'm gonna go throw them on the truck, see what it looks like. Looking pretty good. You can see here how the tie downs will be on all 4 corners, and then you can use those as tie downs also. Now this is floppy because this is just 3/16 strap. There's no triangulation. Once I tighten the sides of the rack up to it, it'll straighten everything out. It's pretty solid as it is. If I'd done a 90 here instead of just a flat strap, it'd be way stiffer than what it is. But I think it's turning out pretty good. Had to move under the carport. Rain's coming in. I didn't want my bare metal to rust. Alright, so I got them back off the truck. I'm going to tear them apart and mount a couple of these. One of them here, and then one down here. And you'll get to see what those are for next episode. So this is going to be it. This is part 4, believe it or not. 5 parts. This will be a 5-part video for a roof rack. It's kind of crazy, but that's how slow I've been working, and that's what it's going to be. Right, so like I said, that's all ready to take apart, prime and paint. I still have to weld a couple brackets on for something coming up in the next video. So thanks for watching, y'all. I appreciate it. If you don't mind, like, subscribe, and share. That helped me out a lot. Thank you. Y'all have a good one.